Today I want to talk about the least talked potential Star Trek project that's floating around. We actually have not made a video on this at all because, I mean, let's be honest, most people say it's completely fan-driven in hopes that it gets seen and there's interest that is garnered from that. I'm talking about Star Trek United. It's more interesting than it actually sounds. Honestly, it's one of those ideas that feels too good to ignore if you're a longtime fan, and it's starting to pick up steam. It's not a random crossover, not some Avengers-style mashup. This is something completely different. If you didn't know the real story behind it, you'd probably assume it was another fake rumor floating around, but it is not. This is a real pitch, a legal concept put together by Mike Sussman, someone who's been around Trek for a long, long time. And the idea, it's basically a sequel to Star Trek Enterprise, but not in the way you'd actually expect. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today, I'm going to get you guys completely caught up on United, and we're going to see if this is actually something that could happen if you want it to happen, or if it's, like I said, just fan-driven in hopes that someday it comes to fruition. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video. Drop a like, make sure you subscribe. Now, we're not talking about going back to the NX-01. We're jumping forward, and suddenly, Captain Archer isn't Captain Archer anymore. He's actually President Archer. Yeah, Scott Bakula back as Jonathan Archer, but now he's leading the entire Federation. So I have two questions for you before we dive into all this. First, what do you think of the intro of Enterprise? There is no middle ground. You either love it or you hate it. And what do you think of the series in the Enterprise? Give me your thoughts and comments on that below. Now, this could change everything because this isn't about exploration. It's not about strange new worlds. It's about politics, power, espionage, and honestly, a version of Star Trek we really have not seen done at this level ever before. I'm thinking the closest thing I could think of if they knocked it out of the park and they did this right would be, think over on Star Wars side, think about Andor. Imagine that. Political drama, power, espionage, all that type of stuff in a Trek show. That's why people are talking. So I want to break it down the way it actually deserves, because once you understand what United could be supposed to be, the real question is, why hasn't it been greenlit? More importantly, could it still happen? Now, we know that there is a movie in the works. Well, we think we know. We're pretty sure we know. And we know there's more people talking about United as well. Now, first off, the premise. United is being pitched as a political thriller set in the early days of the Federation. This is post-Romulan War. So the Federation has formed, but it's very fragile, still figuring itself out. And Archer is right smack in the middle of it. Not as a captain making decisions on a ship, but as the president trying to hold everything together. I think that's a huge shift in tone, because now you're dealing with diplomacy, intelligence agencies, internal conflict, all the stuff that Trek usually keeps in the background. And if you're trying to visualize it, like I said, the closest modern comparison people can make is Andor. Not in terms of setting, obviously, but in tone. Grounded, political, slow burn tension, espionage, real consequences. Sign me up. That alone makes it feel completely different from anything Trek has ever done. Now, when it comes to the timeline, because I think it actually makes this kind of perfect, the show would take place decades after Enterprise, which would bridge that gap between early Starfleet and the era of Star Trek, the original series. More specifically, it's building toward events like Balance of Terror. So this isn't a random story. This is one filling in one of the most important missing pieces in Trek history, the formation of the Federation and the political landscape that shaped everything that comes after. And for fans that care about lore, which I know a lot of you do, this is huge. Because Enterprise ended right where things were getting interesting. The Romulan War, barely explored. The Federation forming, we saw the start, but we really didn't see the reality of it. United is basically saying, what happens after the victory? And I think that's a way more complicated story than people think that could be really enjoyable to watch. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The characters. This isn't just Archer sitting in an office making decisions. The show would focus heavily on his family. You've got his wife. I think she's a diplomat. You've got his daughter, Camilla, also diplomacy. You've got his son involved in Starfleet. And then you've got other characters tied into intelligence and military operations. So you're blending political drama with family dynamics. And that's something that Trek almost never leans into this hard. I mean, usually the personal side is secondary. But here, it would be front and center. Think about it. Being president of the Federation, it's not just a job, it's pressure, it's sacrifice, it's decisions that affect entire planets. And now you're layering that with family members who are directly involved in that world? This could get tense. It really, really sounds good the more I talk about it. So why hasn't it happened? Why isn't it happening? And this is where we've got to be real about the situation. United is a pitch. That's it. It's not in active development. It's not filming. It hasn't been greenlit by Paramount. It exists as an idea that's been presented and hasn't moved forward yet. And that's the part that is probably frustrating fans, because it's not some random fan fiction idea. This came from someone inside the Trek world with a clear direction, clear vision, clear tone. And yeah, it fixes one of the biggest complaints about Enterprise. It gives real continuation. Now we have to talk about the IMDb page, because this is where things get a little complicated. I mean, just like a lot of these situations, once something shows up on IMDb, people start running with it. Confirmed, coming soon, it's happening, and that's not how it works. IMDb listings don't equal production. They don't equal green lights. They just mean the project exists in some form, or even to the point where I know you say, Jimmy, fans can make those pages. I get it, or update those pages. I know, but it's out there. There is a page, so everybody's looking. So the real question is, do you guys want this? I'm going to answer for me. I do. I definitely do, especially Enterprise fans, because Enterprise has always been that show that people really didn't feel like it got its full run. It ended early. It didn't get to explore everything it set up. I feel like this is a second chance. It's not just Enterprise fans, though. It's also a growing part of the audience that wants Trek to evolve a bit. Not abandon what it is, but try different tones. Maybe something more grounded, more mature, something that isn't ship goes here, problem gets solved, ship moves on. I think United could actually do that, but of course it comes with a risk. Because Trek fans are very specific about what they want. If you lean too far into politics, you lose the core identity of Trek, people are going to push back. If you make it too slow, too grounded, too slow burn, you might risk alienating the audience that expects a certain feel. That's probably why it hasn't been greenlit. It's not really a safe project. It's not a guaranteed win, which Paramount wants guaranteed wins, even though they don't. Never mind. Anyway, it's one of those ideas to me that's sitting right on the edge. It's not dead. It's not moving forward. And sometimes those projects either disappear completely, we never talk about them again on the channel, or suddenly get revived when the timing is right. So yeah, I mean, we're going into the dark ages. We have no active confirmed shows or movies out right now. We know there's stuff being worked on, but nothing's confirmed. So maybe United, maybe alongside Year One, Legacy. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, here's where I land. I don't think it's fans making noise. I think it's a real concept. I know it's a real concept. It's been pitched. I think it fills a gap. It brings back a legacy character in a new way. It explores a side of Trek that hasn't been fully realized. I keep going back to the connections of how it could be like Andor, and if they could do that and pull it off, this could be huge. So I guess the question is, would you watch a political thriller version of Trek centered around Archer as president? Or do you think Trek works best staying in its lane with exploration and classic storytelling? So I think this is one of those rare ideas where if they could get it right, it could be something special. If they get it wrong, it's not going to be pretty at all. But then again, they're used to getting stuff wrong and it not being pretty at all. So what do we have to lose, right? As a fan, I say throw it at the wall, see what sticks, and we'll digest it all, and then we'll determine whether we like it or not. If we don't like it, we never watch it again. If we do like it, well, then we support it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you soon.